Hello everyone, welcome to this another EU office hours. I'm Gaetano and I'm a developer advocate here at Amazon Alexa. So as you might have seen, we are trying to change the schedule. So we used to do it every 2 weeks on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. But starting from this week, we are going to be doing it on Fridays at 10 a.m. UK time. So again, welcome back. Long time no see. We did the last one at the end of July, I think. So I'm just asking for feedback on the audio video. Can you hear me well? I'd appreciate some feedback in the chat if you can. Thank you again for joining. We are streaming at the same time on Twitch and YouTube, so welcome back again. Starting receiving some feedback. Hello Tapster, good morning. I guess you are in the EU as well. Audio video is good, so thank you very much. Let me have a quick check on the YouTube chat as well. Looks all good. Okay, good morning. So how is everyone going? I came back from holidays a few weeks ago, and now I can't wait to get back on track with everything and check all the new, try to implement most of the new features that we launched. So what I wanted to cover in this session is this Alexa repository here, unless there are any questions. So this is going to be an open discussion. So if you have something to discuss, to bring up, just make sure to write it in the chat and I can address it for you. So what I wanted to talk about, if there are no questions, is so something that I am working on that I want to share with you. So basically, well, first question: are you aware that we have moved all the samples under this new GitHub repository? It's called Alexa Samples. Let me paste it in the chat so you can all have a look. So basically we created this one, which is just for samples. The Alexa one will have it will not serve this purpose. So whenever we will be creating a code sample for a particular feature, it will be posted here. And speaking of which, I am working on revamping one of the samples that are here, which is APL video. So it's this one. So this is just a sample that lets you play a video, just one, with the APL video component. But we've been receiving some feedbacks and some internal cases around the fact that using the video app interface, which is something that lets you offload the playback of a video, when you use that one, which is it's not APL actually. So let me show you what's the problem that I'm trying to solve. So video app interface reference. Before APL, just a little background here. Before APL, I would say the only way for which you could play a video on a screen-enabled device was by using the video app interface. So how does it work? As long as you enable this interface and send a video app directive with the URL of the video, which is here, so it's pretty straightforward. So as long as you add this to your to the directives of your response, Alexa will play this video, but the main issue is that when this video is played, you're basically exiting the skill. It means that if the experience of your skill requires the user to come back to the skill after the video is played, because maybe, I don't know, you are explaining what to do or how to use the skill, using the video app interface doesn't let you do that, meaning that you could just say, once the video is played, you could just say pause or rewind, something like this, but it doesn't even, for example, accept a playlist of videos. So you're basically stuck with this. And if the user would have liked to come back to the skill, using the video app interface would require the user to say, Alexa, go home, so exiting the skill and then launching it again. You basically lose control on the video once you do that. And this was a feedback that was raised from different developers and customers. So what I thought was, revamping this entire APL video demo thing so that I could create basically an APL layout using the video component that would match, as much as I can, I'll try to match the user interface, the interface that generated by the video app interface, which is this one. It provides, transport controls, so play, next, previous, but they would fade in and fade out just when you tap on the screen, as you would do on a mobile or on a smartphone, basically. And I'm planning to do this with create this with APL, so that the result would be a fully fledged skill that you can deploy in your Alexa hosted environment, if you like, or AWS, why not? This will solve the problem of keeping the user within your skill while the video is played. So first, let me know what you think. This is the main thing I've been working on lately. I hope I could release it soon. My ATA should be, let's say, by the end of next month, if everything goes well. But all of this to say that I personally have been very keen to make sure that we have enough samples in place in here. So in general, that's an open question to everyone connected right now. If you have a suggestion or a requirement of any code sample for a given feature, just let me know in the chat. That's the right time to do so that I can take notes and see what I can do. Okay, we have a question in the chat. APL video is great, lot of pros, no closed session and playlist, that's true, but there are also cons to consider. User cannot send smart home commands anymore, cannot control the volume via voice command. This is an issue, if you ask me, and not a good UX for the customers. Okay, that's thank you, Daniel Mittendorf. That's a very good point. Actually, I never tried to ask Alexa to raise the volume while playing an APL video, but I will definitely take note of this. Can I ask you which device did you try this on, and which version of APL were you running? That would be good information to have, because we are going to be, we will release different APL versions, and if this is an issue, I like to pass this feedback to the APL product team so that we can fix this. Let me just take note of that. Okay, APL 1.6 and 1.7 on all multimodal devices. Okay, so it looks like it's a recurring problem on all devices. Well, I'll take this into account because I didn't try it. Thank you. There's another comment. This is the same issue if you are in a skill and want to change the volume by a voice command. This will raise the fallback intent. Yes, I think I saw that before, because actually when you are in your skill and you say something to Alexa, it's very likely that so it will ask. Sorry, the whole request will go to will be matched against your interaction model. So I could expect this, but I agree that it's not the best UX. So I'm taking note of all of this. Thank you. I also have a multimodal device here that I can try on. One question, is it, so did you try like a vanilla kind of video component, or you, I don't know, customized anything? If you could share the APL layout, it would be even better. Maybe you can share a GitHub link that I can pull. Thank you. So yeah, I will take this into account. But in general, I'd like to know from you if you felt any code sample requirement, so that we can do our best to create one to basically make your experience smoother, let's say. Just let me know in the chat. So yeah, these are good feedbacks. I'll have a look. Okay, there's an APL Ninja link here. Let's see. Okay, so you mean on this one, if I launch it on my device and you ask for the volume, it doesn't really work, right? Okay, I'll save this and have a look. That's a pretty nice layout though. I like the auto hiding thing. So thank you. So Daniel is also sharing a skill TV with Stream Player. Okay, let's see if it's available at Amazon UK. Yes. Yeah, I'll enable this and see how it looks. Do you have any, Daniel, do you have any requirement or ideas on code samples that you might find helpful? Because we are collecting feedback on this entire page, and yeah, as I mentioned, I'd like to make it. Let me have so there is a question on YouTube in meanwhile from Top 10. I'm starting out Alexa development. Well, first job, good job. Can you suggest some resources? Okay. So what I would tell you, since you have also sent the question on YouTube. On YouTube we have the Alexa Zero to Hero series. Let me bring it up. So here, well, depending on I would be curious to know what's your experience when it comes to like development in general, because in those examples we tend to use Node.js, which is the server-side version of JavaScript, if you allow me that. So let me show the link with you. Let me copy the link in the YouTube chat. Give me 1 second. Okay, so first, web developer, right? So, well, you should not have any issues. So, I pasted here our, let's say, getting started tutorial on YouTube. It's a series, so it's made of different videos, and it will explain, like, in general how an Alexa skill works when it comes to Alexa side, so interaction model, and backend side. I can give you some, tips, so like just to make you understand what's behind an Alexa skill. So basically, when you ask Alexa to open something, like let's say the name of your skill is top 10, when you say Alexa open top 10, what Alexa is doing is basically sending a JSON request, so a request to your backend in JSON format, and for example, when you launch a skill, you will receive a launch request, and you need to parse this entire request in your backend and send a response back. This is like the basics on how an Alexa skill works. Of course, we have technical documentation about it. So what I would suggest you to check, even before looking at the video series here, I would suggest you to check this. So request a response JSON reference. So you have at least an idea of what you should expect in your backend and how to respond. But don't be, let's say, scared about this. There is no need to have, if you want, you can have your own endpoint and host your skill as a web service. But you will see in the video series that the person is using Alexa hosted skill, which is something even more interesting, because you can basically create a skill without worrying how to have all the backend. You don't need to worry about hosting code anywhere. It will generate for you, of course, generate the skill. You can change your interaction model and everything, but you also get a Lambda function, 25 gigabytes of S3 storage if you want to store the assets of your skill. I don't know, maybe pictures if you're using a multimodal device, or audios, whatever you need. You have 25 gigabytes of free storage, and you also have, if I'm not mistaken, a DynamoDB table. Let me double check. So yes, so you have Lambda, S3 bucket, DynamoDB, and a code commit repository if you are if you like to do that, like to use that. But you don't even need any plugin installed on your laptop. You have everything. You do everything in the browser, and yeah, it's just there is no need to worry about all the backend side. And yeah, just for your interesting, so the AWS region, you can choose the AWS region to deploy the Lambda function too. And here there is some guidance. If you're doing a skill in English Australia, then that's the recommended AWS region, and so on. So let me know if that's something that it's enough to get you started. Otherwise, you'll find my Twitter handle here. You can reach out, or what's even better is to please take note of those two URLs. So the first one will let you contact us directly. So it's a one-to-one interaction, so you can write to us. And the second one will lead you to the forums. So it's a public space, one-to-many interaction in which developers can help each other. That's a good resource to have in general if you are new to Alexa development and you have any issues or suggestion or something you are stuck on. Just let us know, and we will do our best to help you. Let me paste it in the chat as well. Alexa.design, contact us. Alexa design forum. Okay, and you will also need an Amazon developer account, but it doesn't. You can create it with the same email of your of your marketplace. There's no problem. There you go. Okay. Meanwhile, there is another question on YouTube. I'm new to skill development. Could you share some authentication for use to enter the skill, like login to give the customer ID to verify that our guest then can access the skill? Okay, so you said you're new to skill development. From what you wrote, I think what you need is account linking here. So you would basically restrict the access to the skill just to some users. Is that it? If that's what you want, you should implement account linking to the skill, which is a feature that lets you require a user to do the login as you would do when you, for example, open the Alexa app and link your Philips Hue account. If you want to retrieve smart bulbs from Alexa, it will ask you for the Philips Hue account. But of course, you can do this for custom skills as well. So if you go on here, so first we have, so again, since you're on YouTube, I will be also sharing you the video that my colleague Bernardo created around account linking. That's for a custom skill, and it's using login with Amazon, so LWA. But do not worry about this, because the account linking mechanism that Alexa uses is compatible with OAuth 2. So as long as you have your server, any authentication provider, you can use login with Amazon, you can use, I don't know, a Microsoft account or anything that allows you to use OAuth 2, that's compatible with Alexa. Because at the end of the day, the account linking configuration part of a skill will ask you for the client ID and the client secret. And I can show you how it is. Is that what you're looking for in the first place? Otherwise, just let me know and I can try to elaborate a bit more. But meanwhile, I'll show you the account linking page and where to set this information. Okay, account linking. Okay, so this is one of my smart home skills, and so as you can see, you can use the authorization code grant, which is one authentication type of the OAuth 2 framework, and you can put your client ID here, client secret, and that's pretty much it. Make sure that the scope exists on the security profile of your authentication provider. That depends on which kind of account you want the user to use. If you already have an authorization server that's compatible with that, you can do this. Oh, sorry. So let me repeat. So I was still sharing the contact us page. Sorry. So I was saying this is what you this is how the account linking part of an Alexa skill works. That's one of my Spartan skills. So I was saying, as long as the security profile on your authorization servers contains, so it's compatible with OAuth 2, you can just put the client ID and client secret of that security profile and add correct scope. And what happens is that when your users enable the skill on the Alexa app or the Alexa web portal, it doesn't really matter, it will open the authorization URI. So this one, and the user will be asked to insert the account, and if your authentication goes well, the Alexa app will say you have linked your account to that skill. And now every time a user open the skill, you will have in the JSON request, you will also have a token so that you can recognize who's the user. And from the backend side, if you don't see this token, it means that the account linking has not been done. So you can respond by saying, hey, this skill actually requires account linking. But this is just an overview. I would suggest you to check the documentation here and watch the video as well. It's very good. It's quite self-explanatory. So just have a look at it and you should be fine. So I guess you can see a screen. Let me check Twitch as well. Nothing happened. Okay. As I speak, just let me know if there is some drop in the audio video quality, or if I'm just not sharing the screen. That would be great. So thank you. There is a question. What is your take on the future of Alexa? Well, I'm gonna respond with a very personal opinion. So Gaetano's opinion. I think that the way that we interact with devices is changing, and voice is taking a big chunk of how we are going to interact with devices, because there are some interactions that make way more sense to be done with voice. For example, I don't know, setting the temperature of your thermostat, or put the music, change the lights, turn on the lights while you're doing something else. So we can offload, I would say, a part of our brain to other things. Like you can put the music while filling up the washing machine, which is you don't need to take your phone out of the pocket, and that's pretty much what I think. But I'd like to know your opinion as well. That would be interesting. What I can also say is that still my personal opinion is that so we are still in a very early stage for voice interaction. So I think it's still a good time to jump in. There's a comment on Twitch. +1 for Bernardo's videos on account linking. It really helped me figure it out. Sure, I will pass this feedback along, and I agree. It's a very good way of making making the viewer understand the whole account linking concept, and it helped me as well. So good job. I will pass this feedback. Yeah, top 10. What is your take on future on Alexa? I just responded on that, but I like to know your opinion. Another question. I want to restrict the user that use the skill to play the video. Only membership can play this video and other can play only group of video. Could you guide me? Okay, I think this is still doable with account linking, so I was kind of right. So how are you checking, like internally in your code or whatever? How are you checking if one user has the membership or not? I guess they have a kind of you must have an account. So I mean your users must have an account. So that they need to log in somewhere, and then you make them to play the video only if they have membership. But anyways, that's pretty much the same concept. Let's say I'm just imagining that you have a website in which or an app in which your users can log in, and then you show the login information, right? And if you have that, I guess that you have a kind of authentication mechanism in this website or in this app. And if these mechanisms allow you to so are using the it's called OAuth 2 authorization, you can implement this into the skill. And I'm also guessing that you have a kind of resource server, so a server that will serve the content based on the token that you pass to the server. Like the server must be able to know who are the users that are eligible for the streaming versus the one that are not. So when the account linking is done on the Alexa side, your launch request receives a token, so you can take this token and try the authentication against your resource server. If you recognize this user and they actually have the membership, then you can move to the, start streaming intent and send the video back to the users. So that's what I would do, but I need to know more about the whole environment and infrastructure that's behind this. But I think if you have a look at the video, you might get and understand where where this implementation should go, in which piece of the code, because the video is doing pretty much the same thing. The difference is that it's using login with Amazon and it's using the Amazon account. But you will see that once the account is linked, the launch request that your backend receives is going to look different. So you can understand what's going on. Okay, there are other comments. Let me see. My opinion is right now we are in a starting stage and Alexa performs still the basic stuff like switching on and off and such basic stuff. As the Alexa evolves in a such form where it really acts as a virtual assistant which will match at least half of the human intelligence. That's a good way of looking at it. Thank you for sharing your opinion. Let me see if there's something on Twitch. No? So, such a great answer. Thank you much, sir. You're welcome. As I said, if you have any additional question, feel free to reach out to the contact us page that I'm gonna show it. Yeah, so you feel free to mention that you join the office hours, and yeah, I'll try to we will try to respond as quickly as possible with the best solution we can provide. All right, so I don't recall having seen you before in previous streams. Let me just give you an overview of how this would work. So we are doing this every 2 weeks on Fridays at 10 a.m. And that's the EU one. We have also other regions are doing this as well. For example, the US one is happening once a week at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So I'll suggest you to join them as well. But I will be leading the EU ones every 2 weeks on Fridays, and we will be having some guests as well. So you will not just see me all the time. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see you in the next streams as well. And thank you for the feedback. Okay, I have a question from Twitch. This is not a developer question, but I find that a lot of features available in the US do not reach the EU. For example, Alexa Guard. Why is this one? So, well, thank you for the question, first of all, and it's a good point. But we cannot discuss on future like roadmaps and reasons why we have released features just in one region other than another. So Alexa Guard might be or might not. I don't really know if it will ever arrive in the EU. But what I can suggest is keep an eye on here, so our blogs. Yeah, maybe not this one, the Alexa blog, sorry, because that's the developer one. Give me a second, I'll find the resource for you. But yeah, we cannot really discuss on future roadmaps, so I'm sorry about this. But if we make the announcement, you will see it on the relevant Amazon page of so the marketplace page of your region. So I'm sorry that I cannot be more helpful than that, but I don't really have this information. I'm sorry. In general, Alexa Guard is a nice feature. I wish I could use it as well, because I'm based in the EU. Well, I'm based in London, so that's technically not EU anymore. But yeah, I like to. I would have liked to have it as well. So I understand your kind of. So I understand your point, but unfortunately I cannot help. So I see that we still have 20-ish minutes left, and I would like to retrace. So go back on the question of Alexa samples. So wait, that's the video demo actually. So yeah, I would like to know from the audience, for everyone, Twitch, YouTube, if there is a code sample that you like us to bring. So is there anything that you try to implement and you find you struggle to find resources, or you really wanted to you could not wait to test the feature and you wanted like a sample code to just deploy and try? That would be very good information to have. Again, you can either share it into contact us, or my Twitter handle is there. You can DM me and tell me like, Gaetano, I'd really like to try this thing, but I would appreciate the code sample. That would be nice. So yeah, just retracing on that. Thank you. me check if there's something in the chat. Apparently there is not. So now, after I received this, I saw this, I cannot, so this from Daniel, I cannot wait to try this one and see what's the issue that it's raising on the volume and other things. So the cons of using APL for this. That's also what's good about like this live office hours. I like this instant feedback. So thank you again, Daniel, for providing your thoughts and findings around this. I'll definitely take them into account, and yeah, I cannot wait to try it. Maybe in the next office hours I can show you some early stages of what I'm doing, which will happen in 2 weeks. So I really can't wait. Okay, let me have a look in the chat. Looks like there's nothing. Same for Twitch. Yeah, so let me know if you have anything that you want me to bring up. Another thing I'd be curious about is about, have you managed to move all your old render template skills to APL? Because we have so this feature has been, so the render template, the old display template are pretty much no longer supported. That doesn't mean that your skill will break, but I mean, that doesn't mean that your skill will not work anymore. But the rendering of this the entire layout might differ a bit, because we try to recover what's recoverable. But if it's something very complex, of course we won't be able to bring it up to life on the fly. So yeah, again, should you have any questions or problems that you encounter in this procedure, just let me know, and yeah, I'll be happy to help. For people that just tuned in, I'm gonna paste so I'm gonna show here the contact us and the forums page. We have a new joiner on YouTube. Hello, Napster Naps, how are you? And welcome. So there is already a question from him or her, I don't know. How to perform a dialog delegate to a handler using APL? That's a question that I received a lot of times. So dialog delegate doesn't work from an APL handler. So you cannot send a dialog dot. Let me share the screen again. You cannot do the dialog delegate from APL. Let me see. You see, it's written here, you cannot combine dialog.delegate directive with any APL directive or APL requests. To display visuals on a screen during the dialog, control the dialog manually in your code. Well, that's something that I've been asked that I knew already, but I'm wondering, so I'll be curious to know what's the actual behavior that you're trying to achieve. So maybe I can help you to find some workarounds to this. Because dialog.delegate, I guess you are you doing, for example, intent chaining? Because for that, there might be a workaround. So you can basically create a function for every intent handler that your skill has. And instead of doing intent chaining, you could call this function and pass the handler input so that, it simulates so it executes the code again of the handler. Having a user to be able to answer a question either from voice or APL button. I don't think you need a dialog delegate in this case. So my understanding is that you have a question displayed, and which kind of question is it? Is it multiple answers or an open question? Yeah, if you could explain me more, that would be great. And I might have, so I wrote a blog post that might help you on that, but let me know. That's very interesting though. Thanks for bringing it up. A user invokes an intent. That intent has multiple slots with filling. All right. So let me see if this can be any helpful, because here I created a guide, so a blog post around touch wrappers, and one of the scenarios that I was covering was like a quiz game, so something like that. Since those slot fillings are done by dialog and I don't get a callback to the handler up until those slots have been filled. Of course, that happens when you delegate the dialog to Alexa and you flag all the slots as required. Alexa will not continue if all the slots are, so basically the dialog will not continue if all the slots are not filled. So you need to fill all the slots, and then your backend will get called. That's why the dialog interface reference is saying that if you want to do this, you need to control the dialog in your code, which in my opinion is something that I always prefer, because it gives me more control of what's going on, and it gives me a better, understanding of the context. Like if in your skill, for example, if the Alexa dialog is asking you for the second slot to be filled, you will, so from a code perspective, it would be more difficult to know like which state the skill is in. If you instead do, control the dialog from the code, you have all the information you need. But in general, in relation to what you want to achieve, when you say you have, how can we get input data by writing in APL? Oh, that's why I asked you if it was an open question or something like this. Because if it's something like this, then it might be easier. It will be easier because pressing a different button will send a different info to the backend. But we don't have any way of like writing. So there is no let's say keyboard component in APL. But this was a question from Sati. I guess this relates to the entire question. Okay, so I have a question. So it says it just button no edit text. So I receive send events back to the handler. Okay, I have one question for you. So you're saying that you need to having the user to answer a question either from voice or from IPL button. I understand that. My question was, do you need to do? So are the question? So is the answer that user provide like an open answer, or there are buttons to choose? Because if there are buttons to choose, I might have something. So you could use this, and then when you render this entire APL layout, you can also send, you can keep the session open so that if the user answers with voice, you get your voice handler. But if the user touches the screen because he wants to answer by touching, then your backend will receive a send event. And I guess you get everything sorted. But I think this might be a better, Okay, I think in this case it will make more sense for you to write a case. Just let us know what you're trying to achieve and what you tried. And we will be more than happy to help. Because it would be, it's a bit harder to help on something that I cannot really see. So that's an interesting concept. But I suggest you to write contact us page, or also write on the forum. We have a lot of APL enthusiasts that would be more than happy to help. So thank you as well. There are some comments on Twitch as well. Just Jeff Ress saying dialogue management is my jam. I prefer manual control too. I agree. Not on the jam thing, but I prefer manual control because I want to understand what the user is doing and which state is my skill at. For naps or naps, I'm gonna paste here the blog post that I was showing. Also this one. Have a look at it. Maybe it might be source of interest for you on how to create this one. But you mentioned that you already have buttons, but I don't know. Maybe you might find something useful in here as well. Because this covers two scenarios. One, no backend, so what you press happens on the device. On the front end side. But this sends event to the backend. So there are two different scenarios. And even though I wrote this more than a year ago, it still applies to a lot of scenarios. I paste it in the YouTube chat. Let me paste it into Twitch as well. I'm open. Of course, I'm open to feedbacks. I'm really I knew that I understand that maybe having APL, so making the APL, so making the dialogue delegate directly work from APL would have helped from the beginning, but that's not possible. Okay, one last question, then we need to close. I'm a newbie. I don't know if it will be possible to create a chessboard to play chess using APL. I don't see any chess skill out there. I imagine Alexa is not able to do gaming. There are Alexa games, for sure. So let me... Yeah, there are trivia games and, things like this. But if you want to make a chess board, it means that you should handle the drag and drop event. I'm not sure if this is possible because I haven't been playing to do drag and drop. Well, we can, of course, drag and drop components from the authoring tool, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm I can get back to you. I'll take this as a note. Maybe if this is possible, we'll create some content around it. So thanks for the idea. Because actually, the next step of the blog post that I wrote would be actually how to handle touch interaction, but drag and drop and things like that. I'm not sure about this, Ionole. I'm sorry. I'll try to reach out internally and let you know. Okay, so I really need to drop because we reached 1 hour here. It was very nice to connect with all of you again, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. And happy development to everyone. Bye bye.